Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. Emmy won the Irish national final yesterday with her song Laika Party and will be flying the Irish flag in Basel this year. She's originally from Norway, and in all the clips that we saw during the national final, she seems like a very likable person, and I think we'll have a lot of fun, cool interview moments with her during the pre-parties and also during Eurovision week. I'm really looking forward to that. As per usual in this video, I will be analyzing and rating the Irish entry, looking at different elements of the song, giving points from 1 to 5. This is my subjective personal opinion, this first part. Then I'll try to be more objective and predict Ireland's chances of qualifying with this entry. And then last but not least, we'll have a quick look at your votes and comments from the community tab of my channel as well. Now, I always start with the lyrics of the song. And again, this is my personal subjective opinion, this part. It's a very unique idea to make a dance song about a Soviet space dog, Laika, which was sent into space in 1957 and unfortunately died in space. So kind of a sad story for the dog, at least. And you might ask, how can you make a dance song about such a sad topic? Well, they kind of changed the whole perspective and sing, I hope she never died. She sings, I hope she never died, and is dancing among the stars. She's dancing in the sky. That is interesting. It's a sweet idea. It's a unique topic, obviously. We've never had a song like this about this topic in Eurovision. At least I don't think so. But just the fact that it's unique and that it's an interesting idea doesn't necessarily mean that I personally have to think it's a great idea. I gave some points for the uniqueness of the topic, but overall, I don't think these lyrics are anything that made me go, wow, this is so interesting. So I gave 2.5 points for the lyrics. Now, her voice sounds pretty good for most of the performance. There are a few moments where it sounds a little bit shaky and a teeny tiny bit off as well. She obviously has a very unique voice. It's very sweet and high as well, a bit saccharine to me, and I personally just don't like these kinds of voices that almost sound like a baby voice also. I do think it fits the theme of the song and this kind of music as well. So good vocal performance, it fits the song, it's a unique voice, so you would think I have to give it a lot of points. But as I personally don't like these kinds of voices, I gave 1.5 points, sorry, for the voice. I just don't like listening to these kinds of voices, which doesn't mean that it's not good. It's just my personal opinion. Then for the performance, I think for this kind of song, there should be a lot less seriousness going on in her facial expressions. For the performance, I'm talking about the main artist and how they connect to the audience. I think with a lot more rehearsals, she will become more confident, because at the moment it doesn't feel all that natural in some parts. She does smile and give up a fun vibe for some parts of the song, but for a lot of parts, it seems like she has to really concentrate on the vocals, which I understand, and on the dance steps maybe as well. So with more rehearsals, there's a lot of room for improvement, because this song really needs a engaging performer, and I haven't seen that 100% yet in the national final performance. So in the end, I gave 2 out of 5 points for the performance. The staging, I think, is pretty cool already. They've had a lot of cool ideas. I love the keyboard player in the background doing the robot moves. That adds a lot of fun to the performance. I like the graphics as well, with space dogs floating around in space. I think the outfits could be more colorful or flashier even. Or more of an astronaut theme, maybe. The backing dancers could have these astronaut suits on or something like that. The color schemes work pretty well with this kind of music as well. I don't really understand why they have the lyrics in the background, because the song is quite direct and there won't be a lot of trouble understanding what the song is about. So I'm not sure they need that. And I also think that the choreo seems a little bit uninspired for a fun song like this. I think they could come up with something a bit more engaging than they have at the moment. But overall, already on a good way to a great Eurovision staging. And there's lots of potential, obviously, with this kind of song. So I gave 3.5 out of 5 points for the staging. Now, this song. This is obviously supposed to be a retro song. It sounds very 90s. It reminds me of my childhood. But as this is my personal opinion, even during my childhood in the 90s, I didn't like these kinds of songs. I think the beat sounds dated, which is obviously the point of the song, but still, it's an earworm. It's a song that doesn't leave your head after you have listened to it. But in this case, that's not something I want to happen, unfortunately. It is also repetitive to the point where I start to really dislike it, and it's a bit jarring to me as well in some parts. It feels a bit like it's supposed to be a parody of these dance songs in the 90s, and maybe it is, but that doesn't come across 100%. It feels like they really mean it, that this is what kind of song they want to perform. So, sorry, but for me personally, this is the kind of song that I will not be listening to again. I thought about, doing a top 10 video once we have 10 songs, and I thought all of them are pretty good. I don't know which one to put last. Maybe now I know. Sorry, Ireland. Again, this is my personal opinion. I'm not an expert in anything, and it doesn't mean that this is a bad song. It's just my opinion. The song counts 3 times, the staging twice, and that gives us an overall rating of 2 out of 5 points for the Irish entry. Now, before I tell you my prediction for Ireland, which could be completely different, do subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one on all the entries of Eurovision 2025, or at least most of the entries, and predictions, lyric interpretations, lots of stuff coming your way very soon. Now, let's get to the prediction. I always look first at the historic qualification rate in the last 10 editions. Obviously, Ireland is on a good trajectory with Bambi Thug last year coming sixth, sorry. Ireland has only a 20% qualification rate, which doesn't bode all that well. Ireland doesn't have all that many friends that support it, unfortunately. So we shall see. She is from Norway, Emmy is, so having Norway in your semifinal might have been helpful, but unfortunately, Norway is in semifinal 1 and Ireland is in semifinal 2. Denmark is in there. I think they might like this kind of song. Finland also. But otherwise, and the UK might vote for Ireland, so that's a bit of a plus. Also, semi 2 is a lot less strong, at least on paper, than semi-final 1, so that might help Ireland. And I do think that this is the kind of song, the semifinals are 100% televote that will, get a lot of people to pick up the phone and vote for the song because it is fun. It has an interesting theme. It stays in your head as well. You won't forget it, even if it's performed in the first half. So I do think that the televoters will like this enough to make it qualify. There have been a lot of comparisons with Will It Rave, the Austrian song last year. I think this one is actually in its quirkiness, a bit better than the Austrian entry, which was a full dance track. There was no quirkiness about it. And so I think this one can stand out more. And I do think that Ireland will be able to qualify, not as one of the top 5, but the top 10. I think it will reach in the semis. And then in the final, I think this might struggle because we'll have a lot of televote-friendly performances, lots of fun performances as well. This will do okay in the televote, so I'm predicting 18th to 26th place. But in the jury, I don't think a lot of juries will go for this. So I predict 20th to 26th. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Let me know in the comments if you have a different prediction, which gives us a total prediction of 19th to 26th place in the final. I think that makes sense more or less. Now, that was my prediction. Now let's look at your votes and comments from the community tab of my channel. 15% of you gave the song 5 stars, 29% 4 stars, 28 3 stars, and 29% 1 or 2 stars. So pretty even between 4, 3, and 1 and 2 stars. Here are some of your comments. Lumpy says, nothing interesting in song, performer, or performance. All right. Chilachi says, it is very fun, cute, and will be well performed. It outperforms all of Ireland's recent selections except Doomsday Blue. It will qualify and end up in around 15th to 19th place. Well done. Interesting prediction there as well. Sinyat says, Laika Party in the Sky is so qualifying to the final. Love this song. Glad you love the song. Liam Tornquist says, it's like a parody on 2000's Eurovision. Cheap song, cheap lyrics, and a performance so tacky you cannot do anything but laugh. Maybe that's the point of the performance, and not laugh in the fun way, okay, but in the cringe way. Sorry, Ireland. And then Costa says there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to the vocals and the performance, and in a year with so many unique entries, it might struggle to qualify. But on a positive note, it's nostalgic, reminding me of songs of the late 90s and early 2000s. I do agree that there's a lot of room for improvement, and maybe the performance on the Eurovision stage will look completely different. Doomsday Blue kind of became something completely different than from the Late Late Show's performance, so I'm quite excited to see that, and then maybe my prediction will also improve. Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one, and do let me know in the comments whether you have a completely different opinion of this song. Thank you so much, and I'll see you for my next video. See you then, and bye bye.